Okay, I'll do a quick recap. The party were returning to the Castle of the Flame, carrying various packs of pine needles that had been dug out from around the trees at the hill of Daitakuga. And unfortunately, after a particularly nasty night out, various people woke up with the sniffles, and Kosa woke up completely doolally. Hello clouds, hello trees, what's that butterfly doing sort of thing. Effectively, stark staring bonkers. So, you have guided them, the snifflers and the mentally deficient Budoka, to the Castle of the Flame. You didn't actually bother to take Kosa's pack off. You thought if you were having to push him around, you might as well carry the pine needles for you.
You're too kind to me, guys.
They were obviously intent on keeping your physical attributes well up, considering your mental attributes had suffered.
His muscles were still working, make use of them.
So, you reached the
He's
Castle
insane,
of the
use
Flame.
him as a...
Well, at least Ichijo didn't transfer the £20 pack to you. Just be grateful for small mercies. You reached the Castle of the Flame. Master Erafusahide, the wizard who has been providing training help and spell scrolls to Hachiro, your Shugenja, and gave him this task, invited you in, spoke to you. He was grateful for the delivery of the pine needles, and somewhat concerned about Kosa's mental instability, especially when you explained what had preceded his settling into that problem. Kinzo also mentioned the slight problem that Hachiro had in putting down the hermit's book, and that he seemed to have developed an unfortunate longing for it. Master Era looked at both of them with his magical senses and confirmed that Kosa appeared to have some sort of spiritual infection or infection in his blood, and that there was some enchantment on the book that the hermit had been writing in, and he sent Kosa and Hachiro to the infirmary and thanked the rest of you for delivering the goods, and he invited you to dinner later on that evening to discuss what you'd found and what had happened, and possibly guide him and his fellows in discovering what Kosa's problems were. So you are sent back to the guest quarters as guests of the castle, and one of the students will take you to the baths so that you can clean yourselves up after your journey. And that evening you settle down to talk to the master. He is actually accompanied by two of the other masters of the Castle of the Flame. Let me just pull up their names. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong spreadsheet. Silly me. Get it right. So you are sitting down to eat with Master Erafusahide, Yanagizawa, and Sensei Karahashi.
Is this the next day?
Who is the lord of the castle? No, this is the evening of the day that you arrived.
Which is the 5th, right?
This is... 1 second. This is actually the 7th Utsuki. 7th.
Oh.
7th, okay.
Yep. On the 5th Utsuki, you travelled north of the Twin Inn, settled down for the night, and then woke up the next day after a very wet night with everyone bar Ichijo having the sniffles and Kosa having slipped his mental moorings. You then travelled west on the 6th, and on the 7th you reached the Castle of the Flame, and it is now the evening of the 7th.
Nice one, thank you.
So 3 of the masters of the Castle of the Flame are sitting down to break bread with you. Master Fusahide will explain to them that you are the companions of the postulant Shugenja who had come seeking their help, and who he'd tasked to recover some pine needles from the hill of Daitakuga. He explains that there had been rumours that they were efficacious for something or other. He wasn't sure where the rumours came from, but he'd had reports from the schools in Nobioka that there had been tales of strange things that the pine needles could do. So he tasked Hachiro to obtain samples of them so they could research into them, and you, as his loyal comrades, had escorted him to the hill. He hasn't had chance to have the full tale of what you discovered there, but he knows that his sensei and the other master would both be fascinated by what you have to say. And he then asks you to explain what happened. So the three of you there can describe what you wish to say.
Can I just get the names of the other two masters from my notes? I've got Fushihide, which is the guy we know already.
Right. The people who are there is the sensei of the castle, Sensei Karahashi, and his second in command, Yanagisawa.
Thank you. They'll be spelled absolutely wrong, but I've got
Doesn't
notes.
matter.
Yeah.
As long as you can pronounce them, it doesn't matter how you spell them.
Exactly. But you can call the Master of the Castle Sensei at any time, because he is. You have picked up from the various students that you've spoken to that this castle is known as the Castle of the Flame, and it certainly specializes in fire magics, but it has masters in all 5 of the schools of magic, and therefore it is one of the more notable Shugenja strongholds in Kyūryū. Many other Shugenja run schools of their own, but this is the strongest grouping that is generally known of. So the sensei will inquire as to the happenings on your journey.
I shall look at Kyūryū.
Kyūryū looks at the ground.
He will comment that he has not been personally to the hill of Daitakuga. He understands that it is a very depressing place. Did you note anything untoward? Did you climb to the top of the hill and look at the sights around?
We did not actually climb to the top of the hill, Sensei. The area around it is incredibly depressing, and we wish to get through it and do our task as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Whilst there, we spotted some smoke coming what turned out to be a dilapidated hut, from which we gained the book and some of the needles. We also discovered that the herbalist, I believe he was, who was living there, had had his head bashed in by somebody as yet unknown.
Well, bandits are a recurring problem in the province. The daimyo is certainly not doing enough to deal with that.
Also, 2 of our members, Kyūryū and Kosa, who slept outside of his dilapidated hut, experienced some very bad dreams during the night. So I asked your pupil to enter the realms of, well, the magic, is it?
Yes, so it's the astral plane, the spirit plane. I can't remember the precise title for it.
The Kyūryū, I think it's called.
Kyūryū, yeah.
Anyway, he eventually managed to meditate well enough to get into his trance, but it lasted no length of time at all. And when he returned, he was quite shocked. And he said that the area was full of ghosts who were immobile. whatever that might mean. He then went and checked a tree, and he said that there was a ghost actually trapped inside the tree.
This causes a fair bit of conversation between the Shugenja. They question you on the type of tree, the size of the tree.
But, according to Kosa, before he became incapacitated, he said that he thought the trees were something like 50 years old, which, if my memory serves me correctly, is about the time of the last battle.
Well, yes. They will discuss that and. One second while I just roll 3d20. And yes, two of them agree on the precise date of the battle and can give chapter and verse on the armies involved.
Okay, Kinzo chuckles at that. The other thing that
and when you say your compatriot felt that the tree was it all the trees of that age or just that particular tree?
The whole forest.
He seemed to think that they were all that age.
Oh, that's deeply disturbing. And they were all pine trees?
I believe so.
Well, that may explain why it is rumoured the pine needles have some specific problem.
There was one other point I should mention. While he was in his trance, Hachiro said that there was an evil relic of some sort actually inside the hut, which turned out to be some form of jug. We left it there because we didn't know what to do with it.
Oh. What actually happened was he said there was a water jar there which was full of water, and on the spirit plane there was blackness there.
Okay, well that's what I say. Cause
Yes.
So the water was maybe the thing. Not the jar, the water.
Pardon?
I'm saying that if the blackness was inside, so if it was normal water on the normal plane and then inside the same jar on the astral plane, it was blackness instead of water. That suggests that the blackness is the great evil, not the jar. Sorry, the water is the great evil, not the jar. Am I right?
Oh.
Have I got the right line of logic there? I have, eh?
Well, the Shugenja will discuss what you say Hachiro told you. They will, of course, ask him directly, but at the present moment he's isolated in an infirmary so that they can deal with the infection that he's got. They will question you more on the trees, the area around, and just try and get an impression as to what happened. They will ask what happened with Kosa that he's ended up.
Well, while we were attempting to get good quality pine needles, because the ones on the top weren't, he managed to stab himself on some rotten wood.
Yeah. Wouldn't normally cause this effect. Was it wood from one of the pine trees? Was there anything unusual?
Yes, it was indeed one of the pine trees. It's a rotten log, I think. But given the overall eeriness of the place, I'm not at all surprised that something supernatural has occurred.
Okay, can I have a wit saving throw from you, please, both of you?
Me as well?
Yep, both of you.
My wits. Oh, I rolled a 5. Oh no, I rolled a 7. Kinzo rolled a 5.
Do you want Ichigo to make one as well?
Yes, go on.
Well, my wit base saving throw is 5, so that's not happening.
No. Ichigo wasn't paying attention. Fair enough. Well, they are concerned about that. Master Fusuhide will mention your comment about the book that you'd found and its worrying effect on Hachiro, and the fact that he'd viewed it and there was some sort of enchantment on it, but he couldn't discern what.
Well, I had a quick look at it, and it appeared to be the ramblings of a madman. He was talking about using the decaying livers of dead animals and such like things to make potions, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yes, the first half of the book I think is quite sane, but it deteriorates in the latter half, probably because he's been there for too long. He's living in the wood.
Well, the sensei calls for the book so that you can have a look at it, and he and his associates will all three of them have a look at it, and they look somewhat confused. Let me just double check. There is a possibility that the second in command is fascinated by this book. It looks as though it could be of great benefit, and he thinks it would be well for him to take it away and review it. The sensei and Master Fusahide look at each other and firmly reject his suggestion. He does seem somewhat put out by this and mutters to himself. The sensei will have a closer look at the book, and fascinating. There seems to be a difference in inks. The first half of the book is in normal Sumi-e ink, but the second, it obviously runs out, and there is a fainter ink, a slightly more grey ink used for the rest of it. He looks at the book again and says, and it's this later half which is actually holds some form of enchantment. And the first half the first part seems to be purely logical. And he looks at the beginning of the second part, and that seems particularly logical. No sign of problems there. But then he looks at the last bit, and yes, complete insanity for the last few phrases that he looks at. So basically, by the look of it, the book was written initially in normal ink, but then some other sort of ink was used for the later bit, and while using that, the hermit has obviously gone completely insane. He asks for he's obviously not going to read the book without major protective efforts, but he asks you for what information you can give him on the interior of the hut, so you can describe, the herbalist hut that you saw, the full and empty potion bottles on the shelves, the glassware that a herbalist uses in distilling his stuff.
Lots of tortured animals.
Yes, that's very unusual. A herbalist would not normally use animal components in making potion. They're normally the spirit of the animal has an effect on them, and it makes it impossible to produce something worthwhile. Potions are normally purely herbal or mineral in origin.
We think he was quite mad. I worry that perhaps the ink that the second half of that book that is written in it seem dusty and charcoaly. I think maybe written in like burnt wood, and the wood might be certain trees.
Well, they're not sure what it is, but it's obviously. I mean, a herbalist would know how to make ink, but whatever he used to make it, it's fainter than the normal black that's used for ink, so it's more grey.
Mm-hmm.
Right, they will look into it. They are worried what the bandits may have been seeking from this herbalist, because the way you describe his hut, he obviously hadn't have very much, and they didn't take it. But
It is possible, Sensei, that they actually took something, but we hadn't realised what it was.
possible. Especially if he'd hidden it away and they tortured him for the information first. Sad, but just shame Hachiro didn't bring the rest of the potions, etc., from the hut. It might have been worthwhile trying to figure out what he was actually doing, without having to read that and whatever effect it would have on someone. Well, they will thank you for your efforts, and they will do their best tomorrow to figure out the problem with Kosa, and try and get Hachiro back on his feet. And they will wish you a good evening's sleep, and they shall retire.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll politely to them and then leave.
Okay. Right, you have a peaceful evening. The quality of the food was, as you would expect for the sensei of the castle, exceptional. But
I don't know about you, but I could get used to that.
well, you do have Kyūryū to do your cooking for you.
How do you feel about going back to the hill?
Where the trees are?
Oh, yes.
Apprehensive.
Well, I think you need to make up your mind up because they may ask us to go back.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll go if we need to go.
Okay.
That place played
Okay.
tricks with my mind, like it did with Kosa as well.
Yeah, well, as I say, I think Kosa's suffering from poisoning of the blood. Hopefully that's all it is.
Hopefully. But I think a lot more is just poisonous than the wood around there. I think the whole place is poisonous. But yeah, we'll go back if we need to.
Okay.
I'll look at you, Joe.
Yes.
Does he agree?
He will go back. He fears nothing.
Warrior.
He is protected from the evil.
I'm beginning to worry about him too.
Well,
I think I'm the only sane one here.
at the moment, possibly.
I may have had a moment, but normally I'm pretty sane. Come on. I had a moment of madness.
Right, the following morning dawns, and
I'll be up early to greet the dawn.
Yeah, it's also be up early.
okay. Well, all the Shugenja are up to greet the dawn.
Yeah, well that's because if they don't get their power back.
Exactly.
And after a while, of course, it becomes a habit.
It does. Right. One of the students will come and after breakfast and take you to see Kosa and Hachiro. And Kosa is in a separate room, and there's a student on the door to stop him walking out. He's still got. Sorry.
You mean they're not chained into the bed or put him in a straitjacket?
Well, no, he doesn't appear any dangerous at all. He's just kind of wandering around, looking at things and talking to things.
Talking to inanimate objects.
Yes. But he does respond to gentle touches, etc. Not that they would try ungentle touches with the Budoka. And Master Fusuhide will come down and start the tests. He will inquire as to his normal capabilities and how he normally reacts to things. And he will attempt to use some of his abilities. Let's just see. Let's try 5 rolls and see what happens out of that. Ooh!
Oh.
Well, it wasn't too promising. Then he goes down the right route. Then he drifts off, and then he nails it. There is some sort of magical infection in his blood which is causing this. So we need to purify his blood. And therefore, he will call down... Let's see, where are we? Castle of the Flame. So we're talking... Right. Actually, Master Fusihide is one of those who can... who is a master in this particular school. And he will call in 2 students to lay Kosa down on the bed and then just hold him in place. Gently. And he will cast a spell. Or attempt to cast a spell. And succeeds in casting it. And after a little while, he slumps back in his chair, then comes back and says, "Good, that worked. I used pure blood, and that has purified his blood of the infection that was within it. Now it just remains to heal his mind and his spirit." And he casts another spell, which also works. And Kosa, can I have a health saving throw from you?
Yep, just 1 second. Ooh, I think that just fails, doesn't it?
What's your effect number?
The health saving throw. Base is 8. My base health saving throw is 8.
That's what failed by 1. Okay, you return to your senses.
Okay.
But you are collapsed on the bed. You are completely out of it.
Completely exhausted.
Master Fusahide will say that he's cast a pure mind to cleanse your spirit, and that appears to have removed the problem. But 2 days bed rest. All right.
Okay.
You are effectively wasted.
Yes.
Okay, he will explain that yes, there was an infection in your blood. He's not sure what may have caused it, but something obviously managed to make its way into your bloodstream, and it progressively affected you. And while it was there, it was affecting your mind. Can I have a wit saving throw from you, please, Kosa?
Yes, I think that makes it.
Hey.
Right.
Amazing.
You do remember something that I said in the last episode, that while Hachiro was cleaning out the wound, he pulled various pine needles out of it.
Yep.
So you mentioned the fact that it wasn't just the wood itself that gashed you, that pine needles somehow got in there as well.
Got in there as well, yeah, I'll mention that.
Okay. And Master Fusihide kind of nods as if he expected something like that. Yes, it appears those pine needles have a very bad effect. Okay, he will order a decent breakfast for you, and gets one of the servants to sit with the students to sit with you to make sure that you remain well, with orders to call them if there's any return to the previous symptoms. He doesn't think it's very likely, but there's always a possibility.
I'll thank him for his efforts.
Well, it's always dangerous for those not familiar with the ways of
Could it have been anything
Kyūryū.
to do with the book?
Did you read the book?
The effect that had on it. I didn't read it, but I did stop Hachiro reading it, therefore I handled it.
He doesn't think the cover is affected. It's something to do with the writing in the latter part of the book.
Okay, well, I didn't open it and read it. So.
That's good, because you slept with it under your pillow.
Yep.
Right. In that case, he will then go to see Hachiro and see how Hachiro is. And 17. What's his physicians? Oh yes, no problem. And he immediately sorts out what's needed for Hachiro to get better, and asks one of the students to get a particular infusion from the cabinet, and Hachiro then gets to drink a particularly nasty herbal infusion. So, could I have a health saving throw from Hachiro, please, somebody?
Shall I get this one?
Go ahead.
4.
His health saving throw is 4.
Hey.
He actually manages to hold it down without a problem, and there seems to be an almost immediate improvement in his health.
Excellent.
And Master Fusihide will double check, and then orders him to take a day's bed rest.
1 day.
Good. He appears very pleased with himself, and yes, he got that diagnosis absolutely correct, and ushers you both out of the three of you out of the infirmary. They are both on the mend. Another day or so's bed rest, 2 for Kosa, and he should be back to normal.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you, Sensei.
It's always a pleasure to exercise my skills, and while I was not able to understand the precise arcane nature of the infection in the blood, it was clear what the problem was. But I think it will probably take some investigation to figure out precisely what those pine needles do. Whatever it is, it's not good.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised at that, given where it comes from. Sorry, given where they come from.
Exactly. Roughly how many trees did you say? What sort of area was covered?
About the size of an army.
Yes, that would figure.
We don't know the exact size, Sensei, but it's very big.
Yes. Well,
And the hill itself is even worse than the wood.
possibly as well that I didn't go there when I was young, he says. Oh well, it's always a learning experience for one's students when you send them on tasks. Okay, he will bid you farewell, and you can return to the guest quarters. He will be going off to take a look into those pine needles and that book.
Well, hopefully he and the others will resist the blandishments of that book, because I don't particularly want to have to fight them.
Well, we had not realized quite how powerful the attraction was until Master Yanagisawa succumbed to the influence. We will keep a very close eye on things, and only approach it with the appropriate enchantments erected for protection. Okay, the rest of that day you can spend in idle luxury while Hachiro and Kosa are confined to bed.
Another 2
Just
days.
as well you are in the castle today, because outside the castle there's gale force winds blowing from. There's strong rain all day. The weather is not good.
Which direction is it coming from?
From the west, over the mountains.
Aye, that eases my mind somewhat.
You weren't expecting it to be coming from the south.
Yeah,
I was
kinda.
rather hoping it wasn't, but it could have done, and that would have been a bad omen. Okay.
No, it is coming from the west.
Well, that says I'll go out and get wet then. Just briefly.
Okie doke. So that is 8th Utsuki. 9th Utsuki is similar sort of weather, but it's not so much a gale, more a strong wind. There was fog in the morning, but that's quickly blown away. There's frequent showers, and it actually drops hail around early afternoon. It's generally a pretty bad day to be outside. So again, lucky that you're in the castle. Hachiro is released from the infirmary after breakfast and returns to your company in the guest quarters.
You feeling better now?
Oh, a lot better, he says. I didn't much like that potion, but it certainly did the trick.
Well, sorry, it's medicine. It's bound to taste bad. I mean, they always do.
We can't disagree with that because physicians don't make their own medications. They get herbalists to make them for them. So, personally, he thinks that herbalists do it deliberately, but that's his bias.
I could agree with that. Now all we need is Kosa to be fit.
Okay, so that day passes, and the following morning, again, horrible day. The gale has returned from the northwest today. Pounding rain. There's one heck of a lot of rain coming down. So, what with one thing or another, Kosa, it's a pretty depressing day when Kosa returns to your midst. He's been biting his fingernails for the last 2 days, stuck in bed, not allowed to move, not allowed to get any exercise, but restored to his mental well-being.
Welcome
So
back.
he returns to your midst, looking relieved to be out of prison.
Out of prison.
Well, out of the infirmary.
Confinement.
That was a bit of a Freudian slip there, me feels.
There were no
Sounds a bit
bars
like
on
prison,
the door.
but-
There was just a student to make sure he did what he was supposed to.
I'm glad to be out of there.
Well,
We're glad to
perhaps
have you
should
out of there.
take a bit more care over what you're doing.
Well, I was being careful. You know, but these things happen, don't they?
To some, yes.
Okay, so
We all have accidents.
It is now 10th Utsuki. You are invited to the evening meal with Master Fusahide. Who will welcome both Kosa and Hachiro back from their bed rest. Inquire after their well-being and health, just to make sure everything's okay, and then invite you to join him for the evening meal.
We'll be
Thank you.
honoured.
He has some information for Hachiro, and possibly the rest of you. After looking at the book, it turns out that the ink for the second half of the book appeared to have been made from pine needles.
Ha! I knew it.
Whatever those pine needles are, it has obviously got something extremely powerful associated with it. May not just be the pine needles, there is some form of enchantment in there which they have not found any sign of in the pine needles, but
I'm furiously writing notes, and I can hear somebody furiously typing notes as well. I've got the ink in the
Sorry, that's
second
me.
half of the book, brackets, mad half, is made of pine needles.
Well, that explains why it was a more grey colour, because obviously it didn't include the black that you normally get in proper ink. But something in the distillation of that ink has caused it to have some sort of enchantment effect. And they are still deducing what that enchantment is, but they are almost certain that it's to do with madness. Whether it's sapping your will,
It's a mythos tome.
so that you fall under the influence of whatever evil influences there are around the hill, they don't know. But it is striking that a herbalist made that while he was sane, but gradually grew insane. Whether it was from using it, from something else in the vicinity, they don't know, but it is a very dangerous spot.
Just had a revelation. Cthulhu exists in this game, and it's a mythos tome, and we're all fucked. Sorry for getting it out of character for a second. It's just funny.
Could it be something to do with the water?
Well, I'm thinking if he's using that dodgy
Possibly.
ink, you know what it's like. You know what it's like when you're writing, you get it all over your hands. He's probably licked his fingers or whatever. And
It's drove him
feel
mad.
like that.
Possibly. It might be to do with the water. You would need water to make the ink. What were the water sources there? And
I
you do
don't
know. Was there a
you
spr-
do
Was there
remember
a spring or something?
there was a spring that emerged partway
Spring
down
there,
the
I
hill,
thought there was, yeah. I thought there was,
and the little stream that ran nearby to the hut.
Okay,
Yeah.
well we'll mention that to him.
Oh, fascinating. He hesitates to ask, but would it be possible to obtain a sample of that water? He would be prepared to recompense you all for the danger involved in obtaining samples.
I would
I
absolutely
think so.
step forward. I feel honour bound. Something that I'm not telling other people about makes me feel honour bound to clear the evil from this place, or
I
to
think
be
we can
to be any part
handle
of
that,
it.
can't we?
Well, I am prepared to go.
Yeah, I think we go.
Yep.
I mean,
Okay.
there's obviously something very, very bad in that area, and if we can help to, maybe get something done about it.
Well, he has interviewed Hachiro in the infirmary once he'd cured him, but the description of thousands of ghosts would seem to put the clearing up of this problem into the decades. They're not. He's not. Something. There must be something else there. Something must have bound those spirits into those trees, and obviously something extremely powerful.
Out of character, Dave. What was the name of the lord who committed seppuku?
He was the daimyo of Takuga province. That's why it's known as the Hill of Dai Takuga. His army originally, Hayamana province was the northern part of what is now Hyuga, and Takuga province was the southern part. And there was a war between the two, and the battle took place at the foot of that hill. And he used the top of the hill as his command post. The daimyo of Hayamana province used something to the north as his command post. And the legend has it that when he saw his armies were being defeated, he committed seppuku on top of the hill.
Now, is seppuku just another word for that form of dishonourable
Yes.
suicide? Yeah.
Yes.
Because harikari is another one for some kind of suicide, isn't it?
No, harikiri is a slang term for seppuku.
Yes.
Oh, right, okay. But yeah,
It's more westernised.
okay.
Sensei, the daimyo Takuga, he committed seppuku on top of the hill.
Yes,
Perhaps
that
it's
is the
that act.
legend.
Perhaps it's that act which binds his men to the hill and to him.
His blood in the ground, in the
Well,
roots
it's
of the
possible,
trees, and in the water.
but the worrying thing is that the records that he has show that it was known as by a different name prior to that, Hiroyoka, Terrible Hill. There were evil legends around that hill before the battle.
Well, then perhaps his spirit is allowing this evil to operate.
And perhaps whatever evil that was there is being fed by all the death that occurred there.
Quite possible. I mean, thousands of ghosts arrayed around an area would provide all sorts of spiritual power to certain evil creatures. And well, the more knowledge we can gain on that area, the more chance we would have of eventually cleansing it. But something that has been around for centuries is powerful in its own right, and by the sound of it, it got even more powerful following that battle.
I'll ask Hachiro, does he remember seeing any mon on any of the ghosts?
No. They were basically just formless shapes on Kyūryū that were just obvious spirits bound to their location.
Okay. That sort of puts one of my ideas out into touch. But it looks like we must go back there and bring back further evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They want water samples.
Well,
anything else
you mentioned that there was still the belongings of that poor hermit left in his hut. If they are still there, if they haven't been taken by bandits, it might be helpful to return those. We will have people transcribe this book, and hopefully we might be able to determine more once we've actually got a transcribed version of the latter half. If they limit it to a student reading one page and transcribing it using ordinary ink, then it might they might be able to assemble a copy which can be read without risk.
Excellent. If we could take the sacks that we brought the pine needles in, that would be good.
Well, they were actually going to offer you suitable water containers that could be carried and would store the water in pure form. So they were going to offer you those.
Yes, but if we're to bring his belongings back, there would be some weight to that.
Oh, certainly. They will empty the pine needles into a more permanent storage and return the packs to you.
Do we
I don't
really
know.
want to use those packs again?
No, absolutely not. I was just
I
thinking
mean, they
about
might,
that.
they might still
tainted.
have.
They
They might still have some. They might have some pine needles, trapped in the bottom or whatever, and you could
Prick your finger on
stop
one.
yourself at any point.
Yeah. No, thank you.
I shall also remind the sensei that £10 of those pine needles came from inside his hut. The other £40 came from round the trees.
Which £10 was it?
Well,
You will point him at the appropriate pack. Because basically you stuck it all in one pack.
He did at the point. It was the one in somebody's right hand. I remember him saying that one in his right hand is the one from
Yes.
inside the.
Exactly. So they will keep those separate from the others, but he will check the packs once they've been emptied, and yes, there is a tendency for the pine needles to get into things. So he will instruct the Chamberlain of the castle to provide you with replacement packs for the ones that you brought. Does he have them in stock? Yes. would you? So he can produce the same 4 £10 and 1 £20 packs for you, if you wish, or you can have them as 5 £10 packs,
Well,
or 5 £20 packs.
Is there still 5 of us going, or are we only 4 of us going this time?
Oh, send Hachiro back with you,
Okay.
because
We will take the same arrangement as before: 120 and 310.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
he is going to send Hachiro back with you because it is a dangerous place, and having someone who can sense enchantments and see onto the spirit plane will be a help. But he would certainly agree with you in grab the stuff, grab the water, out. He would suggest taking the water from close to the source of the spring. Obviously, there it'll be closer to whatever influence there might be from the hill.
Yeah.
Is there anything else they want us to bring? I'd rather only make one trip if possible.
No, they have all the pine needles.
sufficient.
They would not want to ask you to cut down a pine tree with a ghost in it.
Oh, I would not be doing it if they asked.
They don't think there would be any benefit in bringing back any wood, from fallen branches and so on. The pine needles seem to be bad enough by themselves. So,
Okay.
water, whatever is in the hut, and yourselves. All right.
Okay, that's...
Fair enough. So, let me just make a note myself.
So, guys, what was I mumbling about? Anything interesting while I was...
Nonsense. You were talking to chairs and stuff. Talking to chairs.
You were talking about trees and stuff like that.
Yeah, that seems really reasonable.
Maybe that explains why he was talking to chairs, because a chair's like a dead tree, isn't it?
Suppose so. There's certainly a way out of it by the sound of it.
Well, the master is not asking you to return furniture, etc., from the hut. Just items associated with his herbalism or anything that would be associated with ink making.
Any potions he's got, and
any potions that might be there. Yes.
Ingredients that are there.
Okay. So you would be setting off the following morning, which is 11 Usuki. The weather has abated. There is still a westerly breeze, but there's light cloud above. It's no sign of rain, but the ground is exceptionally muddy. You had close.
I'm going to suggest that we look out for fast-moving waters in places we might not expect.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
You've had about 80 plus millimeters of water fall in the last 3 days. The streams and rivers are going to be full.
Yeah. Crossing the river could be fun.
Yes, the Mukabaki could be rather choppy. Okay, so
We don't need to cross the river.
What, the Mukabaki?
We do.
We do.
Because the hill of Daitukuga is to the south.
Yeah, we've got to go past Nobioka and further south to get there.
Fair enough. So, you are going to be travelling along the road from the Castle of Flame. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can make it to Shinguru and stay the night there, or you can camp out. Your choice. You can actually make it to there without too much trouble. Hachiro is still going to be somewhat shattered by the end of the day, having taken.
We'll rest in the inn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not very nice out there.
Is that minus a day's food then for the travel?
No, because you're going to be staying at the inn.
Okay.
So it'll be 2 copper each, and that includes the food.
Okay.
deduct that from Hachiro and Ichijo.
Kyūryū's going to tip one. He's just trying to drop some karma wherever he goes.
Tipping doesn't actually grant you much karma.
Yeah, I know. He's just doing what he can.
Fine, the innkeeper will accept it gratefully.
Did we
Sorry?
Did we actually bury the herbalist? I can't remember.
Yeah, we did. And the
Yes.
animals.
We did. Okay.
Yes,
All
you did.
That's okay then.
So bringing back his clothes might be a problem.
The ones he was wearing, yeah.
Right. Following day, you make it 1, 2, 3. So it's 4 rye to there, which counts as 3. And then 4, 5. You can buy, if you really push it, you can make it to the river before they stop the ferries running.
Shall we
But
push
it's
it?
pretty late. Or you could stay in Kagesama overnight.
I suggest we stay in Kagesama.
Stay overnight and give it a bit longer for the water to drain down.
Well, there was dark storm clouds up tonight, and the breeze was freshening. Looks like tomorrow's going to be bad weather again.
Should we maybe cross now while it's better weather
In
then?
that case, let's go across now.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Odd even. Your friendly neighbourhood guy is there, so it'll be 1 copper apiece to cross. Oh, the benefits of knowing Wonshu.
Yeah, I tip 67. I mean, -2.
And he warns you that the current has been rather choppy the last few days because of the extra water coming down from the mountains. So he hopes all will be well, but there is a possibility that things might go wrong. And I roll percentile dice. But no, he finds eddies to take the boat calmly across the river. He steers perfectly well, and you make it across to the docks. And you can make it back to Wonshu's hut.
There's a face I never thought I'd be happy to see again.
Oh, he's surprised to see you back so quickly. He thought you'd be staying at the castle for Chiro to learn some more spells. That's what you'd given the impression was going to happen.
Yes, well, there's been a change of plan. His master has sent us on another mission.
Okay, so you're not going to be looking for work tomorrow then?
No.
No, we're just going to stay here overnight if that's okay.
Yes, that's fine, that's fine. Always got room for friends of Uncle.
Will you join us for maybe a sake in the barn?
My sake not good enough for you, he says?
I said, will you join us for one? I thought you were going to maybe bring some of yours because we love it so much.
Well, I wouldn't bring my sake to the inn. The landlord would get extremely cross if I brought my own in.
No, I mean at the barn. Are we not staying in Wonshu's barn again?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So is he going to come and join us? That's what I'm saying. Are you going to come and see us and we'll have a little drink together?
He sleeps in that shed every night with you.
Ah, right, okay. Well, I'm going to ask him, are we going to have a little drink tonight? It's nice to see him again. I'm happy to see a friendly face that's alive.
Well,
not
of
a
course,
ghost.
he brings the sake out again to flavour your evening meal and make it more palatable.
Fabulous.
It is actually slightly better.
He's had a better batch, has he?
Well, yes, he believes that the brewmaster has got it right for this particular batch. But there's always room for improvement. It is actually decent quality sake. It's up to the normal standard that you would expect.
Well, cheers, or whatever the Japanese for cheers is.
Okay, you have your evening meal, and you drink your sake. And those of you in the know, this is an extremely expensive hobby of his. Retail, it sells for 2 silver for 2 cups of sake. He's doling out 5 cups of sake a night. Considering he's only paying you kind of 3 or 4 copper a day.
And actually, it's his way of boosting our income.
Possibly.
Or showing
Or
us
making friends.
how he appreciates our worth.
But he obviously has connections to get that sort of quantity of sake, and obviously for a relatively cheap price. Anyway, so does anything untoward happen that evening? Nope. Everything passed quite peacefully. And following day, you look out of the door, complete overcast, lightning in the distance. The breeze has shifted to the southwest, but it's obviously going to rain at least sometime today. I will move you to the other map, because you're heading south from Nobioka.
Okay, over here.
And I will just move the party into Nobioka. Jolly good. So, despite the weather, you can make it all the way down the Saikaido. It is the better quality road, so therefore the rain doesn't actually impede you much at all. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it only takes you 3.5 ri to reach Kona. So you can travel up to about 5 ri without any real problems. So you could make it up to the edge of the forest by this evening if you wish. You could make it up to there without too
I
much trouble.
don't fancy camping at the edge of this forest. What
If
do you
we
think?
stay in the village,
Yes.
in the village, can we get to the hill and back okay tomorrow? One day.
1, 2,
And
3,
enough time to actually pick up
4.
the stuff we need.
Well, providing you don't get lost in the woods, then yes, you should be able to. Because you know precisely where to go as far as the hut is concerned. You know where the spring is. So, providing you don't get lost in the woods, you should be able to make it there, grab the stuff, and come back. Okay?
I think we'll stop in the village then.
Okay. In that case, that will cost you 3 copper each. It's more expensive for inns on the Saikaido. Okay. All's well in the inn. You're not sent out to the shed at the back because of a passing samurai this time. But you are glad to be in cover, under cover. There've been cloud bursts all day. It's not particularly nice weather at the moment. The following day dawns. Kyūryū greets it as always. It's mostly overcast, but it feels a bit lighter today. You don't have the oppressive feel of threatening rain that you had all day yesterday. Breeze is still from the southwest. Are you going to be heading up the side of the river? The river is quite heavily swollen. All the rain in the last week has been is coming down from the mountains and the hills.
We'll go the route that we know.
Okay. Well, you stay well clear of the riverbanks. It is actually undermining them in some places. There's a fair bit of water coming down. Okay, you make it to the forest. Now, can I have a tracking roll from Kosa? Just don't fumble it, all right? Because you know where you're going. You are guiding the party there.
Hey.
Oh, no problem.
No
There
problem
we go.
whatsoever.
Nice.
And you make it to the clearing quite successfully. And that still seems to be in one piece. It does appear as though the recent gales have stripped some of the roof away. So it's not in the best of shape. There's some rain got down into the hut inside, so everything's a bit of a mess, but nothing appears to actually broken in and taken any. Okay?
It looks like nobody's been there since we were there,
Correct.
as far as we can tell.
Well, nobody has opened the door and left it open, and nobody has moved stuff as far as you can tell from what's inside. Stuff has been blown around because the roof was damaged, but everything still seems to be there, just not necessarily upright or in the same place.
Dave, I've still got
Yes?
8 subdual damage on my sheet. I guess that's gone.
Right, that's
We've
gone
had
by
rest,
now.
yeah.
Yes, you've rested. Sorry, I should have reminded you.
No worries, man. I just noticed it. It's gone now.
Okay, we'll go in and pack up his stuff.
Okay,
Take-
there are various full and empty. There are various full and empty potion bottles. There is that water container. It was open, so it's probably got some rainwater in it as well.
Well, pour some of that into one of the potion bottles. In fact, maybe 2. And take that with us, and then pour the rest of it away.
Okay. And you can pack up his herbalist distillation, etc. You can use some of his clothes and bedding to protect it from getting broken. Most of it's rather damp, but that shouldn't affect the glassware and the pottery. Okay. Can I have a wit saving throws from you all, please? I will roll one for Hachiro. Oh no, Hachiro is looking around at the trees. He's jumping at shadows. He's
14,
he's
that's nothing like even close. Oh, we've all done terrible there, boys.
I'll roll for Ichijo.
Oh.
Ichijo's wit saving throw is actually 3.
Good. Fail with the rest of us.
Yes. Not good. Okay, you pack everything away, and it doesn't occupy all the packs that you've got, but you're pretty certain you can carry it back safely. Right, you then make your way up the hill beside the stream, heading for the spring.
Be super alert. Not that will do me any good, of course.
Okay. Everything's quiet. There's no birds singing. No sounds of animals in the forest around you.
Not at all.
No.
Like eerily, creepily, like abnormally.
Yes.
No insects, nothing.
There are insects in amongst the grass, etc., on the hill, but that's about the highest form of life. No signs of anything that would predate on the insects. No rabbit holes.
No birds, nothing.
No. Unnatural.
Let's just get this water and get out of here.
Okay,
guys.
you make your way up to the spring.
Agreed.
It appears to be just a normal. Some of the rock is exposed in the face of the hill at this point, and and there is water issuing in a spring from the rock. It's formed a little pool, and then it runs off and down the side of the hill. So you can fill your containers without any problem.
Okay.
Who's filling the containers?
I will, in very carefully, not to get any of the water on my hands if possible.
Deafness saving throw. Don't fumble it.
Okay.
I'm going to keep an eye on the rock face.
Oh, I've rolled a 16. That's not a fumble, though, eh?
It's not a fumble. It is awkward, and you almost find your fingers dipping in. Which saving throw?
I'm just going to keep looking round.
Oh no.
Kosa, sorry, Kinzo, you notice that the water was running smoothly, but while Kyūryū was dipping out the water from the pool, the flow varied a little bit, and little ripples happened in the pool. When he stops filling the container, the flow evens out again.
I'm not entirely sure, but there might be something living in that pool.
Okay. In that case, be very careful, Kyūryū.
As soon as the container is full, I step back, a good few steps back from the water.
Containers?
Yeah,
Containers?
yeah. Close the containers and step back away from them.
Okay. No, there doesn't appear to be anything living in the water. It's clear, you can see to the bottom.
Okay.
It wasn't that anything was rippling the water in the pool, Kinzo. It was that the flow from the rock varied and caused ripples.
So the flow from the spring.
Yes.
Okay, well, I shall mention that now he's not actually taking the water.
And it's evened out again now that nobody's trying to take water out of the pool.
If we've got everything, let's just get out of here. This place gives me the willies.
Oh, aye. It's making my jeebies very heebie.
Yeah, even though you're out under the sky, out from the trees, it feels worse than it was under the trees. Let's put it that way.
I don't like it one bit.
So
The occasional showers don't help. You make it back to the bottom of the hill. Kosa leads you back through the woods, down by the river, and you make it back to Connor that night. You going to stay in the inn again tonight?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. Fine. That will be another 3 copper each.
Yeah, something strange about that spring. I think we actually need to mention that as well when we get back.
Dropping an extra one again.
Bankrupt yourself at that way, Kyūryū.
No.
It's a guilty
Betting
top.
over the top.
It is a guilt thing, yes.
Spending a bit of money is not going to assuage your guilt, I'm afraid.
No, it's not, but it's going to distract me from it for a day, hopefully.
Right, just jotting down a note. Okay. The night passes peacefully in the inn. There are other travellers on the road who are staying with you, but they don't have the problem with the high-level samurai again. So, the following morning, which is 15 Utsuki, the overcast has broken up, you've got islands of cloud. It generally feels like it's going to be a better day. Still a westerly fresh breeze, but who cares? Your spirits are high as you set out on the Saikaido, shaking the dust of the hill from your feet. Actually, you shook it off ages ago, but you travel up the Saikaido. Again, a lot of traffic, but you don't stand out in it. You reach to Nobioka. Let's see, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 3.5. You could actually cross the river today and carry on on the other.
Kagesama.
On the you could reach Kagesama if you wished.
It's a good idea because the weather's good, I think.
Agreed.
Okay,
Okay, let's carry on a bit further.
fair enough. You can wait for the right ferry to come across. This time, you've got time in the day for that. So it'll just cost you a silver each. A copper each to cross again.
Calm down.
I had a heart attack there.
Aye, nearly.
And
I'm not tipping again.
does all go well on the crossing? Ah, perfectly. He's actually following in the wake of another ferry and slipstreaming it, so slides across perfectly adequately, and you can make it to Kagesama by night. So that will be 3 copper to stay in Kagesama.
Okay. Paying the normal rate this time.
Yep. They have actually seen you on the road before, so you've not stayed there before, but
Oh, have we not stayed at this one? I will tip
no,
this
you
time.
haven't.
If we've not stayed here before, I will leave a 1 week copper tip this time. Just this time.
Okay. I will just change you to the North Hyuga map. So you stay the night in Kagesama. And again, it's peaceful. Travelling up the road the following day, you are actually travelling with a couple of merchant trains. They're heading north towards the border with the neighbouring province. They are going slower than you. Do you wish to travel with them to take advantage of the fact they've got guards, or are you happy just to go at your normal pace?
I'm happy to keep moving to complete the mission faster. What do you think, guys?
I agree.
Okay. In that
Yeah,
case,
it's,
you travel up the road and you can make it all the way to Kyūryū by nightfall. Despite the heavy cloud in the sky tonight, it's been dry, not a problem. But it has been building up, so it's likely to be wet tomorrow. The innkeeper greets you as welcome guests. You're becoming well known here. You've travelled here so often.
Do we get like 2 mints on our pillow now instead of 1?
He'll make sure that you get a reasonable portion of fish with your rice. Or a reasonable portion, whatever vegetables are served with the rice tonight.
Was it not always reasonable, like?
Well, and the following day, which is 17 Utsuki, it's foggy when you leave this morning. There's only a very light breeze to begin with. The fog clears as the day goes on, and the breeze picks up. There are a few showers during the day, but you make it to the castle by nightfall without a problem. And you're welcomed in by the student on the gate, who sends a messenger off to Master Fusuhide, and you are almost immediately summoned to his presence, carrying all your ill-gotten loot. All right, non-ill-gotten loot. You got it from best of motives. He greets you and inquires as to how your journey went.
It went very well, Sensei.
It went very smoothly, actually. There was no hitches. Thank you, Sensei.
He asks if you would decant your goods so that he can have a look at them and see what you brought back.
Okay,
And
we'll do that.
Do it very carefully. I'm gonna touch
While we-
anything.
While we're doing it, I shall mention the fact there were no animals or birds around the hill. And as we were taking water, the flow into the spring varied quite considerably.
And it didn't vary when you weren't taking water from the spring.
That is correct.
Did it actually increase when we were drawing it, or decrease?
It increased and also decreased. Basically, what it seemed to be
Up and
doing
down,
was
right.
causing ripples.
Fluctuated, right?
Yes. Possibly trying to make it more likely someone would get wet.
Ah, I thought he was trying to maybe communicate.
Well, no. When you were
Trying to
trying to
splash
get
somebody,
when
got
you were
it.
trying to get the water out, you actually found it more difficult than you would have expected.
Because it was
Not
trying to
because
splash me.
the level was fluctuating.
Got it.
Yes. So something was trying to get you to touch the water, which Master Fushihide will agree they will take extreme precautions in dealing with it. He will disappear onto the spirit plane and then come back and confirm that yes, there is some sort of darkness about that water on the spirit plane. As for the goods from the hut, you display those. The equipment, etc., is just normal herbalist equipment. He will confirm there is no problem with it. The 2 flasks of water you filled from the jar of water in the hut have a faint shade of that same aura that is fully present in the flasks that you filled in the spring. When you explain what that is, he says that he suggests that it might possibly be that the fresher the water from the spring, the more effect it has, and that the effect leaves it with time. Because obviously the herbalist had filled that pot before you got there last time, so it's been sitting in that pot for a long time. So whatever influence is in it has faded.
I should point out, Sensei, that it's probably got rainwater in it as well.
Oh, that's possibly a reason. The rain from clouds cleanses many things.
That is good to know.
Ochiro nods wisely. Okay, you display the other potion bottles. The empty ones, there's nothing associated with them. There are 3 full ones. One, he will say, is clear of any influence. And he will break the seal on it, smell it, and say, yes, that is a standard potion normally brewed by herbalists. The other 2 both have a dark shade to them on the spirit plane. There is some enchantment about them. One is much darker than the other. He will break the seals on them and have a smell, and he will seal them up again and say there is nothing of normal herbalist brews associated with those. But on the second one, there was a definite smell of pine about it. Which actually ties in with the information he's been getting from his students. They have been transcribing the latter section of the book, and it's fascinating. It's not complete, but the descriptions of what's been going on. he had obviously heard rumours that pine needles had some sort of power associated with them. He was trying to distill that essence to make something of it, to discover what it did. But the description of what he was doing, as the wildness seemed to grow, the insanity seemed to grow, he was convinced there was some spirit hovering over the hut, and it was threatening him. And he talked about catching animal sacrifices to placate the spirit. There is nothing in his writing about using the parts of the animals for the potions. So what you deduced he was doing was obviously wrong. He said to Kyūryū. Not sure where you got that idea that he was using the animals in his potions, but
Kyūryū quietly feels a little bit better. Steve was actually used them as ritual sacrifices. He was a prick. I was right. I told you, boys. You should have trusted me. Trust my instincts.
He was mad.
Yeah, we dealt with him before he did anything mad to us.
No, he was trying to appear sane to you. He was coming up with excuses for why he was doing it.
And I saw through it.
So, yes, there is a lot of work still to be done to determine what's there, but thousands of ghosts tied to trees, which are 50 years old, with no animals, etc. underneath them, there is some extremely evil presence there, obviously. He thanks you all for your assistance in carrying out this dangerous mission, and he will give each of you 1 gold coin.
Wow. Is that our first gold coin, boys? First one we've got, anyway. We might have spent one, but first time we've got one, eh?
He is fully aware of how dangerous it was for you to go back there, and therefore he is...
That's a year's worth of food, isn't it? It's a year's wages, basically, for a commoner.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Okay. At this point, Hachiro will ask his master if he can stay at the castle to learn his new spell.
Okay.
And his master agrees to let him stay and use the library. Master Fushihide will inquire as to what you the rest of you wish to do.
Are we going to head back to Nobioka, or I think?
Should we go back to Nobioka? What we're on the 16th. If we head back to Nobioka, we've got a day or two to relax or work.
This is 17 Utsuki.
This is 17. Sorry. So we've got a day or two to relax or work, and then we could enroll in a week's training somewhere, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, unless I think they only teach fine arts, don't they, at the Castle of Flame?
Ah, yeah. Well, yeah,
Only,
fine arts.
says Hachiro,
No, they do.
Only.
They do. Butsuda. What do you call it? Butsudo.
Butsudo.
They don't do any martial stuff, which is what the three of us are looking for. Should we head back to where they did teach that? Where was that?
So,
they were teaching that.
There's the house on the rock. Well, there are various schools in Nobioka. There's the original garrison where you got your training back in your Lord Kanawa's province. And there is the house on the rock, which is the martial arts school where the teachers come from for Master Kanawa, for Lord Kanawa.
What do you think, Kinzo?
Let's return to Nobioka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got a good supply of sake there. Okie doke. So, you spend your last night at the Castle of the Flame. You are invited to dinner with Master Fushihide, who will talk to you about your final impressions of the place, how the hill felt, and get as much information from you as he can. He has a student there writing down your thoughts. While they aren't planning on doing anything about the place at the moment, there may always be the chance that something will happen and they have to, or the daimyo might request for them to do something. But given your description of the place, if the daimyo does want something done, he will suggest that it's a joint effort between the Gakusho and the castle staff, because thousands of ghosts will take an awfully long time to release. If we can figure out how to, we may have to chop the trees down, and if there is another spirit there of some kind, it will probably take exception to anybody interfering with its orchard, he says, questioningly. But I think it's one of those places, if you don't go there, you should be perfectly okay. So he would recommend if you do decide to go there, you get someone to go with you who can give you some spiritual support in the future.
Yep. I don't think we'll be returning there. If he does want to contact us again, we can contact us at One Shoe's warehouse in Nobuoka.
Okay. He thanks you, and if he has called to need people with your martial skills, possibly to escort another student, he will bear you in mind and ask you to come.
Thank you once again for potentially saving my life.
You have another quiet night, and you wake up the following day. The breeze has shifted to the south, but it hasn't moved the clouds. It's still dark storm clouds up ahead, above, and it feels like it's going to rain today. Righto. You set out from the castle. Are you going to try and stay in Shinguru again tonight, or are you going to head further and stay out?
Well,
just north of the Twin Inn.
No, we don't have. What's his name? Hachiro with us. We can
move faster.
Go full speed. We can go full speed, can't we, lads?
Well, Ichijo's normal speed is 5, but you could go up to 7, and he could suffer some dual damage. He can actually go 7, but he won't be worth much at the end of the day.
No, we don't want that.
No, we'll go at 5.
You have been going at 5 already, which
in
is
that case,
two more than Hachiro was.
I thought Hachiro was staying there.
Hachiro is staying there. You were originally going at a speed of 5, which is 2 more than Hachiro, and you managed that without a problem. Also, he managed that without a problem. You can go at a speed of 7, which is 2 more than Ichijo, and he should be able to manage that without a problem as well. So you can go at 7.
Yeah, as long as we don't do it for too long. Yeah.
Okay. So, in that case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can get to there, I think, without a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, sorry. No, you can actually get to there. That's 9. So that's plus a quarter on your move. Okay, and you can camp out beside the Saikaido.
Yeah, I'm ready for a random encounter.
And again, it has been relatively peaceful, probably because most people are staying indoors because of the rain. But you spend the night out. You are woken up in the early hours of the morning when the occasional drops of rain steady up into a solid sheet. It is now pounding with rain.
Oh.
Everything's getting wet. You're all miserable. You're not going to get any more sleep tonight. You hunker up underneath your raincoats, but they're not keeping the rain off.
Don't we have the ability to build some kind of shelter real quickly between the four of us?
None of you have skills in such things.
Let's just push on to the next village and stop there.
Yeah.
Okay. As soon as it becomes even faintly light enough to see, you start heading down the Saikaido, and you reach Anatawa, and the road either side of the bridge is actually flooded. So can I have deafness saving throws from everyone to make their way through... Sorry, speed saving throws from everyone to make their way through the floodwater without mishap.
I was like, I'll roll again as soon as he asked me for a different one.
Yep.
I rolled 17 then at 18.
Okay, let's roll for Ichijo. So, speed saving throws. Who got negative effect numbers?
Well, definitely me. No negatives.
By how many?
No negatives a success or negatives a fail.
No, you need to roll your speed saving throw or less. If you rolled over your speed saving throw, you got through it without a problem. If you rolled over it, there is a chance you might have suffered a mishap.
Ah, right.
So,
I might have,
0 effect numbers for me.
I think
you
I've
got through
probably rolled
safely.
over it.
How many over?
Oh, what was it? A speed saving throw. 10 over it.
Okay. There is a 50% chance that something happened. There wasn't. You actually managed to grab onto something bridge to hold yourself steady when a current threatened to sweep you away, but you make it across the bridge and through the water on the other side without a problem.
Oof, that was close. Careful how you go, boys.
And you carry on down the road. There are rivulets and streams, etc., but it's generally miserable, and you make it all the way. The river is very choppy today. Are you going to stay in Kagesama, or are you going to try and cross the river?
No, after that, I don't want to try and cross the river today, after what had just happened to me. If you don't mind, chaps.
No, okay.
Okay. So you are going to stay in Kagesama overnight. So knock off another 3 copper. I will just knock some off for...
No, is that still the 18th? Or was that on the 19th?
Sorry, you've reached Kagesama on the 19th.
Yeah, okay.
So Ichijo knocks off another 3 copper. And the rain dies down through the night. When you wake up the following morning, it's still overcast, but it looks like you're just going to have the odd shower. So the river is still running high from yesterday. You wait for your friendly neighbourhood boat to come across, and he's having difficulties getting across. They actually stop travelling on the river for the first half of the day, and in the second half of the day, nope, the water is still too bad to risk crossing. So there is quite a caravan of people kind of clogging up Kagesama. Is there any space available? I'm afraid that there are some samurai who've turned up who are taking over the inn.
Oh,
So you're going to have to sleep in the shed out the back again tonight. He'll still charge you 3 copper for it.
the motherfucker.
Because
I
it
know
does
he
come
will.
with food, but you'll have to stay there because the ferries haven't been travelling today.
Okay. 3 copper again.
And then the following day, you make it across the river, all being well, because the river has become less choppy and it's fine. So you can make it across the river
Hey.
at dawn. Now, does anything happen to his boat? No, his boat gets across safely. Today is 21 Utsuki. If you were going to do a week's training, you need to get to one of the places before classes start
You get
today.
rolled today, yeah.
So, are you heading to see what's available for training today?
We might as well, or it's a whole 10-day until we can do it again, so...
No, I'm not going to bother. I'm going to go and get dry.
Yeah.
Well, you are dry. You spent most of the day undercover yesterday.
Yeah, but I've still got clothes to dry and stuff like that.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I'm going to make sure I get enrolled in something today. I want to do some training.
Okie doke.
Okay.
In that case, let me just double check. This is the 3rd week in Utsuki. So let me just pull that up. Okie doke. So if I just quickly run through what people tell you is available.
Mm-hmm.
At the Temple of the Dragon at Peace, they're teaching Bushido and Hatha Yoga this week.
What's Hatha Yoga?
Hatha Yoga is one of the 5 yogas that priests learn. Hatha Yoga is, I believe, the yoga of the body.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually the lowest yoga you can learn.
And when you say priests learn it, is yoga in this game, is that a healing thing then?
Yes, priests
Okay.
use it to give blessings and to give healing.
Got you. But pseudo though.
Well, all 3 of the temples are teaching Butsudo. The Kozanji temple is also teaching Hiragana, and the Rose temple is teaching Karma Yoga. The Harvest Blessing Shrine are teaching Shinten.
Which
The
is...
Safe Return Shrine isn't teaching anything this week.
What's
And the
Shinten?
Burning Flower... Shinten is Shinto theology.
Oh, okay. Ooh, okay.
You normally find that the temples and the shrines will have classes in Butsudo or Shinten every week.
Mm-hmm.
And those are normally taught for free. If you wish to make a donation to the temple, you're welcome to, but they teach it as a way of spreading their religion and knowledge of it. Right, the Flower of Hyuga School are teaching Iaijutsu. Well, they have 2 classes in Iaijutsu this week.
Which one's
and
that?
hawking.
So yeah, just that's a fighting
fast-
skill.
That's a fighting skill. Fast draw.
Fast draw, is that being able to pull your weapons out quicker?
Pull out and strike on the same action.
Ooh, I could spend a week learning that. I was tempted by the learning the other religion. I was thinking about being a theologist and studying both, but that sounds like that'd be very useful combat skill to be training in.
The Rice Harvest School is teaching Bajutsu, Boya, Sojutsu, and Naginata Jutsu.
So which are those jutsus?
Bajutsu is horse riding.
Okay.
Boya is a fine art making bows and arrows.
Yep.
Sojutsu is the use of a spear.
Okay.
Naginata Jutsu, use of a naginata and nagamaki.
And those are?
The naginata is what's called a sword spear. Effectively, it's rather like a sword blade attached
On
to the
a
end
long
of the
spear handle,
shaft.
yeah, I know it. I can
Yes.
picture it. It's a very feudal Japan weapon. It's cool. The Art of Go
is teaching Chinese classics and herbalism.
Sorry, go back. Sorry, what was the other jutsus? There was 2 other jutsus at that school.
Bajutsu is horse riding.
All right, yeah, sorry.
Boya,
And Boya.
Sojutsu, which is the use of a spear, and Naginata Jutsu, the use of a Naginata, and Nagamaki. The art of Go is teaching Chinese classics and herbalism. The Moving Wave School, the sensei, is actually teaching Nunchakute.
Oh, right. Okay, I've chose. You don't need to read the rest. You don't need to read the rest.
And there are also classes in Saite and Jojutsu.
See, the spear one would be good because I'd like to have a long weapon and a short weapon, but also I feel like I'm going to be the one that specialises in the close-up weapons. So let me spend a week training Nunchaku Jutsu then.
Okay. Kinzo is not going to be training this week. Kosa, do you wish to be training this week, or are you going to settle in on the docks?
No, I'm not training.
So which school was that, Dave?
This is the Moving Waves.
Moving Wave School. Nice one, thank you.
So if you don't already have it, you can add that as a group. You already do have it. So therefore you can add another point as earned status for your second week of training. So you increase your earned status to 2, which increases your group status to 12. If you ever need to ask for anything in one of the schools, then effectively you use your group status in that school to generate the BCS of success. So at the present moment, you have a BCS of 2 plus your level, so that would be 3. So if you want to ask them for something, then your base chance of success in achieving that would be 3, less any negatives, plus any positives. Okay?
Okay.
The more status you get in a school, the more chance you will have of having success in asking for something.
The more favour you've got with them, yeah.
Correct. Okay? And your global status is what your position on the world stage is. So at the moment, I think all of you, your status as a member of your profession, Budoka or Bushi, is
17.
what you are most recognized for.
Yeah.
If you attach yourself to a school or a temple or a shrine and you work your way up, you may well find that your status in that school raises your global status to a point that is what you are most known for and take most pride in. All right. So we will leave Kyūryū at the Moving Wave School for a week.
Okay.
And the rest of the remainder of you.
Do you want me to do the money and things first, or do you want to do that at the end of the
we'll
week?
do it. We'll do it at the end of the week.
Okay, cool.
Let me just write that down for Nunchakute. Righty-ho. So, the remaining 3 of you make your way to the docks. Things are stirring there. Well, in actual fact, you don't have to make your way to the docks. You arrive on the docks on the ferry. So therefore, you can go straight to Wonshu's. He's just opening up for business when you get there. Greets you. Pleased to see you. Everything go well?
It went very well.
Jolly good. Are you going to be looking for work again? He says.
I believe the 3 of us are.
Right. Well, it just
Yes,
so
we will.
happens I do have something. I'm partway through a job that needs doing. You haven't got that weakling with you, so I think I can probably slip you in. I'll just have to have a quiet word with one of the merchants, and it's transferring stuff to and from the the craftsman's quarter again. So he's actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of work for you at 4 copper a day.
Excellent.
It's the similar thing that he had you doing before. Basically, you are taking empty carriers to the craftsman's district, leaving them there, picking up full ones, transporting them back. They're being unloaded, and you're then taking an empty one back, leaving it to get filled while you bring a full one back. Blah 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 blah. So you have, if you're happy with that, you can have 5 days of work at 4 copper a day. So you will have to knock off 5 food, but you will gain 20 copper. And let's knock off 5 food.
So that'll be the Utsuki 21 to 25, won't it?
This is Utsuki 21 to 25, yes.
Yep.
Okay. Ichijo is going to have to stop after a day and go and buy food from outside town, because he's almost out. Do the rest of you need him to get you some?
Yes, can you get me 10 days, please?
Get me 10 as well.
Okay, he will go and get 40 days worth of food and put 20 down for him. Okay, so if you would care to knock off 10 copper each, and he will knock off 20 copper. So let me just make a note here. So it's Kosa, Kinzo, and Ichijo work on docks for 5 days. Everything's fine. Can I have a wit saving throw from the 3 of you?
No, that doesn't make it.
Fair enough. Okay, at the end of those 5 days, sadly he's got nothing for you after that. You can have a poke around on the docks and check and see if there's anything available. He does. No, there's no work the following day. So you'll have to just rest up, or you can wander around the town and do something if you wish. You resting up on the docks?
Now I'm going to go and buy some town garb.
Jolly good.
I'll stay at Wanchu's place, but I'm going to be working out. Make sure I'm back to full fitness.
Fair enough.
So how much does the garb cost, Dave?
That will set you back 5 for peasant garb in the town. And that evening, sorry, knock off another food. That evening, yes, he thinks he can get you some work tomorrow with one of his friends on the docks. Do you want it?
Yes, please, yes.
Okay. That will be 4 days' work at 3 copper. Ichijo will consider going fishing, but then decide against it. And if you want to finish the week That is actually the finish up of the week. That's 30 Otsuki you're up to. So that's 4 days at 3 copper, so that's 12 copper and 4 food. Okie doke. So at the end of the week, Kyūryū has information. Let's see. So we need the moving wave school. So 3 Otsuki. It's the sensei who is actually teaching the class this week. So let me just work this out. So Nunchakute is the skill you're learning. Yes, he's higher level than you. Yes, it is bonus for you. Now, Nunchakute, do you read hiragana? Kyūryū?
That would be in fine arts, would it?
That would be under fine arts.
No,
yes.
I don't.
Right.
Katakana, yes.
Unfortunately, they have a Torimono teaching scroll available, but it's written in hiragana.
No, I can't
So
read that.
therefore, you do not have a usable skill. Usable scroll.
Should this skill be in my FIS, by the way? This is a freely improvable
It
skill.
will be now, because this
okay.
is the first time you've trained it. Okay?
Yep.
So, if you add FIS in the FIS column, that is one of your freely improvable skills. And you will gain +5 on your learning rate. So your learning rate is... Cell H15.
H15. Learning rate 2.
So you gain +5 on that, so that means your Nunchakute will increase by 7.
Let me put this on the screen for people to see what I'm doing. Nunchakute increases by 7.
Going up to 52.
Nice.
Okay. Which raises your BCS by 1.
Nice.
And that means that you get 0.1 to add to one of your physical attributes. So strength, deafness, speed or health, you can add 0.1 to one of those in the permanent value column.
Strength, deafness, speed or health?
Yep. Well, you've already been raising your speed, so it might be sensible to raise that up to a 21.5.
That's exactly what I was thinking, David.
Okay, and that will cost you 6 silver pieces for that week's training.
Okay. Okay, paid.
And Kyūryū returns to Monshu's place that night, looking extremely pleased with himself.
Hello, fellas. I'm back.
At the end of that week, or towards the end of that week, can I find out what's being taught at the moving wave next week?
Okay.
Or about the moving wave and the dawn of time.
You go along to have a look at the information put up on the notice board.
Yep.
Next week is the first week in Satsuki. And the Moving Wave School next week is teaching Saite, Jujutsu, and Karma Jutsu. The Dawn of Time is teaching Hiragana. Do you want to know about the other places?
Nope, that will do fine. We'll keep pressing on with the hiragana if possible. Like to sign up
Which
for a
school was that?
All
Okay.
the time.
The Moving Wave School next week is teaching Saite, Jujutsu, and Kamajutsu. The Dawn of Time School is teaching Hiragana. As far as the other schools are concerned, the Art of Go is teaching Boya and School of Wood. The Rice Harvest School is teaching Kenjutsu. The Flower of Hyuga has classes in Iai Jutsu, Yarinaga Jutsu, and Boya.
Which ones are those two jutsus?
Iai Jutsu is the fast draw. Yarinaga Jutsu is hurling javelins. Boya is a fine art, crafting bows and arrows.
What's the weapon range of a javelin?
It varies.
Hmm.
If you have a look on the...
Sorry, was the spear or spear sword one available this week?
No.
Okay. But Sai was...
Kenjutsu is being taught, that's the sword skill at the Rice Harvest School.
I'm not into that.
But the sword spear skill is not.
So what was the martial ones available this week?
Okay, as far as Yarinaga Jutsu is concerned, there are two types of javelin that you can throw with those skills. There is the light javelin. Optimum range, you can throw it up to your strength in yards, i.e. in hexes.
Mm-hmm.
You can throw it up to your 1.5 times your strength, but you'll be at -2 to hit and half damage. Maximum range is twice your strength at -4 to hit. The light javelin at optimum range does 1d6 damage. The heavy javelin, you can throw it up to optimum range of half your strength, doing a d10, to 3/4 of your strength at -2, doing a d6, and up to your strength in hexes, -4 BCS, and doing a d3.
I think it'd be handy to learn a missile weapon. Do the other guys think it'd be handy for one else to put some skill into missile weapons?
Ichijo says yes.
We lost...
At the present moment, Ichijo doesn't really have a missile weapon.
No, I'm gonna... Yeah, the quick draw, it's that and the quick draw. I'm gonna roll a dice. Evens I'm going quick draw, odds I'm going for the javelin weapon. Oh, we're going javelin.
Okay, that is not a bonus skill. As a martial artist, throwing javelins is not something you would normally do.
But the quick draw one would be.
Well, Iai Jutsu is bonus if you use it with a bonus weapon. So if you're using it with Nunchaku-te, which is bonus for you, then yes, it would be bonus.
Tell you what, I'm going to keep my studying where my strengths are, and I'm going to learn that one. What is it called? A Iai Jutsu.
Iai Jutsu. I-A-I...
Jutsu.
J-U-T-S-U.
Okay.
Iai Jutsu.
I will study that for a week then. Sorry, guys.
Okay. So add it under your Bugai. And Kosa is enrolling for Hiragana.
Trying to get a week of Hiragana at the dawn of time.
No trouble at all.
Where
There
I've
is
been
a class.
that's where that's been where I've been learning it before. So
Okay, since you're learning Iai Jutsu, put FIS in the FIS column.
Yep.
Because you are training it. Leave the bonus column blank because it's Iai Jutsu is a skill that you learn. You can then use it with any other weapon, but you average it with that weapon. Okay, Kinzo, are you going to be training, or are you working on the docks, or are you doing something else?
I've been working on the docks.
Okie doke.
Making paper.
Doing whatever earns the money. Okay, so So Kyūryū is going to be learning EI.
Yeah, just too.
Kosa learning Hiragana. Kinzo and Ichijo work on the docks. So, in that case, the EI Jutsu is being taught at the Flower of Hyuga School. So, Kyūryū, if you can add a group, Flower of Hyuga.
2 seconds, I'm just writing it on my paper notes as well. Flower of Hyuga. So it'll be down here. Let me put this on the screen again. How's the spelling on that?
Hyuga.
Hyuga, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Hyuga. Hyuga is the name of the province you're in. So, if you can add 1 earned status for that, because you're going to be training there for a week. And that is also a 0.4 from memory. Let me just double check that. Yes, it is. Because the daimyo likes it. And Kosa, you can add another 1 for Dawn of for the Dawn of Time. Have you already added it?
Yep, I'll just do it now.
Add it up
Yep,
to
done
3.
that.
Ooh.
Yep.
Okay, and we will deal with where you get at the end of the week. Back on the docks. It's going to be an off and on sort of time, I'm afraid. Shall I just run through the week and tell you what you can get employment as?
Who's working with Ichijo
Yes,
and...
please.
Okay, so there are 1, 2, 3 days without any work. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 days where you can work on a general job, and there are 1, 2, 3 days where you can work on a one-shoe job. So that's 4 days at 3 and 3 days at 4. So that's 24 copper you can earn and knock off 10 food.
No, actually, what I do, Dave, is I'll knock off 10 copper instead.
Fair enough. And you'll have to send a Chijo off for a day to go and buy some. Okay. Right. Can I have wit saving throws for you and a Chijo, please? And 1 for a Chijo. Fine. And nothing obviously happens that you notice.
Tim,
and-
did you just change the wrong sheet, Tim? For your money. You're on the right sheet.
Oh, sorry. My apologies.
Yes.
I did
I
something
could
wrong.
say I thought somebody just changed my money. I just happened to be on the sheet, and it.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
No, so I'm just going to steal all your money. That's
Yeah.
No,
That's the problem.
Oh,
Sorry, I should have been on Ichijo's sheet.
yeah, I'm going to
Silly
say
me.
suddenly went up.
My
Suddenly
apologies.
shot up
Yeah.
by 24 copper. You want to give it to me, Kinzo? That's fine.
Right. Okay. Ichijo will not work one day. Sorry, one of Ichijo's no work days, he will go out and buy more food. Okay.
that makes much more sense.
Yes, it does. Okay, so as far as the shrines are concerned, So this is the last week of.
No, it's the first week of Satsuki.
Sorry, it's the first week of Satsuki. My apologies. Because I didn't drag that down. Okay, so that's filled that up. So 1 Satsuki. So as far as the Dawn of Time School is concerned, Takenaka is the master who's teaching you, and oddly enough, he's the guy that you dealt with before.
Yes.
And you do have a usable terrain mode. Congratulations.
Excellent.
So, as far as you're concerned, you gain a bonus of +4 on your learning rate.
Yep.
Which would make 6. So your
6.
Hiragana goes up to 24.
Yep.
Which means you can add 0.05 to a mental characteristic.
Okay, done that.
At a total cost of 5 silver pieces. 5 shilling. And Kyūryū is at the Flower of Hyugas,
Yep.
being taught by Nimi Nishiki. So, Nimi Nishiki is teaching you Ei Jutsu. So, he is higher level than you. It's not bonus for you. Now, as far as Ei Jutsu is concerned, you currently have no skill in it at all.
Correct.
You are fluent in reading katakana, so therefore there is a Torimono available to teach you, so you get an
Excellent.
additional 1 for that. So, as far as Kyūryū is concerned, your Ei Jutsu, you gain +4 on your learning rate. Your learning rate is...
2.
So you gain 6 in Ei Jutsu.
So just change my permanent to 6.
Permanent goes up to 6.
Excellent. Final BCS has become 1.
Your BCS has gone up by 1, therefore you can add 0.1 to a physical characteristic.
Yeah, I'll do. I'm going to take speed again.
Sensible.
Yep.
And that's the cost of 5 silver coins.
Money well spent.
Okie doke. So, as far as the date and weather is concerned, you're into it. The last 3 days have been last 2 days have been persistent rain. It's going to be overcast tomorrow. So, do you wish to continue training and working, or do you wish to do something else?
Unless Ronchu's got anything particularly. other than-
Not at the moment. I've got a job coming up in 1, 2, 3. I've got a ship docking in 2 days' time. So not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow. And then I've got to get that unloaded and then pass up. And then I've got some stuff I want taking down the coast. So if you're happy to carry stuff for me down the Saikaido,
When do you want that
I've
doing?
got various. Well, that would start in about 4 days' time. So day after tomorrow, I've got a ship coming in, and then I've got to break up the cargo and split it up, and then there's well, I don't know how long it'll take, but I would say at least a week there and back.
Right, I'll hang around and work for Ronchu.
are you going to do the same?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he can get you all work on the docks tomorrow, and then you can unload his ship the day after. He's not sure what he's got available after that, but then once he's got all the packs made up, you can leave on 15 Satsuki. Okay? In actual fact, does he feel it's auspicious to leave on this day?
Was that a holiday?
Well, there's there's a Buddhist festival on that day. It's the Ghost Festival, Ulumbana. There's rituals to transmute and absolve the sufferings of the deceased, to burn away their bad karma, to improve their chance of a good reincarnation, to bring them back on a higher level in the wheel of life. Then 2 days later, there's a Shinto festival, Gion Matsuri, the Gion festival, which is for purification and pacification of disease-causing entities. There are small festivals happening all the time in various places, but these are the main ones. Okay. So in that case, if you all work on the docks, then you have 2 days of work and 2 days of non-work before you're ready to leave. So effectively, you will earn 7 copper, but then you'd have to knock 4 copper off for food. So everybody earns 3 copper for those days. All right.
Okay.
So Ichijo earns 3 copper. Right. What Wanshu would like you to do is to carry some goods down for him. He's got about 15 pounds of goods each for you to carry down to... where's the name of the place? Miyazawa.
No problem.
Good. He will sort out the passes, etc. If you want to know where Miyazawa is, if you go to the onto Roll20 to the handouts, if you find the map of Central Hyuga Province,
Yep.
and call that up, that's the traditional map. You are at the present moment in Nobioka, which is the northernmost, the one on the right-hand side of the map. Miyazawa is on the left-hand side of the map.
Oh.
So effectively, you'd be travelling all the way down
All the way along the
Saikaido.
coast.
Right.
And he would like you to make deliveries at various places on the way.
Okay. So that's... yeah. Quite a long way past where we've been before, isn't it?
Yes.
See what's down there?
You see the central, the fishing boat, the little village above its prow. That is
Yep.
Hanamishisu, where you come from.
Yeah.
Right,
And
okay.
the furthest south you've been is to the castle, just to the left of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
He'll give you the names and location of the villagers that he'd like you to drop parcels into. He's labelled them,
Yep.
so you shouldn't have a problem.
Am I right in thinking that on this map, north is actually right?
North is actually to the right.
Yeah,
Yes.
so tilt this 90 degrees for a true...
Exactly.
90 degrees left for a true, like, yeah, got it.
Yeah. Now, this is a traditional version of a map done in pen and ink, and it's representative rather than accurate.
Yeah.
Okay. and you can see the temples and shrines marked accordingly. Okay. It's also out of date. Because it doesn't show all the temples and shrines. Okay. I will move you onto the neighbouring map for the start of the session. So you're starting out in Nobioka. Right. So, travelling south, you're setting out on 15 Satsuki. You'll have to, unless you wish to wait a day for the Ghost Festival, if you wish to join in the rituals. I mean, you know one deceased who must be suffering pangs of being mad when he died.
Well, I was thinking about it. It's weighing heavy on my conscience. I don't want to.
And as GM, I'm pressing hard on it myself.
Yeah, I don't want to hold up. I don't want to hold up everybody, but it's weighing on my conscience, and I feel like I want to, like, pay my dues at this festival.
You can pop in. You can light some tapers. You can leave an offering. You don't have to spend the whole day doing it.
If that's agreeable to the rest of the boys, because I've got a dead person I want to pray for. He was mad.
Okay, so you'll probably take an hour doing that, so you won't be able to travel quite as far. Right. Okay, so most of the places that he wants you to drop the parcels into are on the road, on the Saikaido, but in the second part of the province, once you get past the castle, he needs you to pop into some of the coastal villages there as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So you set out from Nobioka, and in theory you should be able to travel 14 ri. So let's just see how your day goes. Just to get to the thing. Okay, he will hand you over a customs document with his chop on it and the manifest, and it's signed off by the daimyo's civil servants, so you should be able to show that when asked, and all should be well. The weather, it's a nice day. Light cloud, no sign of rain today. Ground's still very wet from the several days of rain you had before, but you set off down the Saikaido, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and Connor is the first place that you have to drop a parcel off. You drop in to see the merchant, and oh, he's delighted to see you, and asks where you're heading to. Because you're obviously not dropping off. You're not dropping off all your parcels.
Mizawa.
We're heading down the
Miyazawa.
Yeah, we're going down the Saikaido.
Would you be willing to take a parcel for him?
Is it a heavy parcel?
Well, it's about £10.
Sure.
He'd be willing to pay you 2 copper to carry it for him.
Yeah, we'll take it.
How far is it going?
1 second, I will just look it up. It's going to Kanjimasu village. It's the next village on the Saikaido after Ohio Castle.
Oh, so it's not far.
Oh, it's not that far, no.
No, okay.
But if you're going in that direction,
Yeah.
I'd be delighted for you to drop it off.
Yeah, I'm agreeable to that.
Yeah.
Okay. You can add 2 copper to the loot list. Okay, so that's 1 hour, 2 hours. So you've used a quarter, so therefore you should be able to travel 11 total. So 1, 2, 3. You can't actually travel any more today because you've got to stop off and hand some stuff to Uncle. But you can stop in your home village and deliver one shoe's parcel to Uncle, and then go and pay your respects to your families. There is an evening service at the Temple of the Great Waters, so most of your families will be taking part. Do you wish to attend the service?
Why not? Why not, indeed?
Okay. And the priest is delighted to see you. Welcome back, my children. Nice to see my teachings have taken root. And a nice service is had by all. Your ancestors will no doubt be more blessed in their reincarnations going forward. Right, the following day, oh dear, it's getting cloudy again. It's threatening rain, but it doesn't look like it's going to be too bad. You travel 1, 2, 3 hectares, and you come to Ohio Castle. How do the civil servant? Good lord! You actually get good treatment from the civil servants at the customs post, who just check your manifest and wave you through. Amazing.
A nice change.
Yes. Then you travel on further. 1 second while I just reveal some more of the map to you.
That's still on the 15th.
This is on the 16th now. You spent the night in
16th,
Hanamishisu.
okay. Yep, okay.
Okay. So you travel on to the next village. This is the village that you were asked to deliver the parcel to.
Okay.
And that is 1 second. Let's just pull that up. This is Kanjimasu, is the name of the village.
Kanjimasu.
You pop in to see the merchant. He is delighted to receive this so quickly. He doesn't expect it for another day or so. Thanks you for delivering it. Okay, if you ask directions at Kanjimasu, you're looking for Irawa village. They will tell you it's down the track leading to the coast. So this track here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you'll have to travel down to the coast. But you should be able to make it by mid-afternoon, sort of thing. Not a problem.
Does that mean we're getting new map tiles opened up?
Yes. Indeed.
Exciting stuff.
Oh, indeed.
Okay.
Love it. One of my favourite elements in an RPG is when you open up new hexes. The exploration element, I love that.
And you make your way down the track to the village of... what did I call it again?
Kanjimasu.
Kanjimasu. No, you've just left Kanjimasu.
Oh, right, okay.
This is the village
Kanjimasu.
Irawa.
This is Irawa.
Irawa.
We're still on the same day, though.
This is the same day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And so far you've used up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexes, which is equivalent to 3, plus an hour, and then 1, 2, which is equivalent to 3/4. That's 4 3/4, and 2 hours. 2 hours is another 2 hexes, so that's 6 3/4. You should be able to make it to the next village by nightfall, or not long after nightfall, because you've been told the next village you need to go to is also on the coast. It's down the coast road. And
Okay. Well, we'll ask them if it's is the road fairly safe.
oh yes,
Bandit troubles. Yes.
oh no. Nobody would dare
That's fine,
trouble you on that road. I mean, Yumida Shrine is there.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, so you travel on down that road. Second, when I just reveal more map to you. Okay. And you travel on that road, you go past the Yumida Shrine, which is quite an imposing little place. And you reach the next village, which is Matanochi. Matanochi. I will add the names to the map before next week. Okay.
Nice one.
And you can stay there for the night. It will cost you 3 copper to stay in Matanochi village. My apologies.
Okay. Sorry, 3 did you say?
3 copper.
Dwindling.
Training's expensive, you see, that's the thing.
Yeah. We did get paid at gold though. Forget about that.
Yes, but
Easy come, easy go. And what you
probably
had to
spent
do,
it on your training,
what
I should imagine.
what you had to use, what you had to do to get to that, dangerous. Right. Okay. Following day, you have to head back up to the Saikaido and backtrack a little bit, because the next village you need to visit is Uminasai village, which is back on the Saikaido. So you've had 2 days without rain. Sadly, when you wake up this morning, it's fog, and it feels damp. Sure enough, as you set out, rain starts falling. You get frequent showers, and at times you even get hailed on. So you travel up the road to... Hang on a second. I misjudged that slightly. I will have to do slightly better. Okay, that should be clear enough. There. So that is the route you have to take. So you travel back up inland back up to the Saikaido, and then back to the village.
Okay.
What's it called?
This village is called Uminasai. Uminasai. Uminasai.
Oh, I almost got that first time. Almost spelt it right first time.
You do notice, as you're travelling up the road, when you look to the left, you can see the river that you've been following. There's a bridge over the river, and there is a guard post on the bridge, either on this side of the bridge. So you can expect to deal with guards again. So you travel back down to the bridge, and you find you are at another castle. 1 second while I just reveal it to you. There is indeed another castle guarding the river, and the civil servants, the customs officers on duty, will peruse your stuff. It takes you a couple of hours to get through. There's a queue, and they're not moving particularly fast, but you eventually get through. They don't cause you too much trouble. And you have a delivery to make to the village just by the castle. So I will.
What's the castle called?
The castle is Ima Castle, I-M-A. And the village in its shadow is called Hayo Village, H-A-Y-O. There is also a temple immediately adjacent to the village, the Temple of the Immaterial. So let me just reveal that little item.
Sorry, Dave. What was the name of the temple?
The Temple of the Immaterial. One of these usual Buddhist concepts which could mean anything to anybody. They do get a bit pretentious, don't they?
They do.
And let's see, so that's 1, 2 right on the roads, and then 1, 2 on the Saikaido. Another hour there, 2 hours, 2 back, so that's 4 on the Saikaido, 3 hours spent, and then another hour, so that's 4. Yeah, you've basically used up your move for the day, so you're going to spend the night in the village.
Okay. Another 3 copper, is it?
Another 3 copper, yes.
Okay.
And can I have a wit saving throw from you all?
No.
Did any of you fumble?
What would constitute a fumble? Not a 14, eh?
Well, all that means is that you don't miss seeing a certain Buddhist
spot.
priest sitting in the inn.
Not a certain asshole would be displaced.
Don't get to
What?
punch him out.
You remember a certain Buddhist priest called Minagawa?
Oh yeah, that asshole. I remember Minagawa. He owes me money, actually.
Minagawa,
The con artist.
fraudster.
Aye, he's owed me money, boys.
He's sitting in the inn, eating some rice.
He's gonna eat it up his nose in a minute.
Are you walking into the Inan? Are you ignoring him? Are you greeting him? Long lost friend? What?
I'm going to ignore him as much as possible.
Yeah, nothing to do with me.
I don't know, I don't know, because it might be
You know what happened last time you did something rash?
I know, but this guy deserves it. I'm going to ignore him
Well,
for now. How's that? I'm going to ignore him for now.
that's fair enough, yeah, unless he deliberately irritates you, that's fair enough.
Let's see whether or not he recognises you.
Oh, if he starts a problem,
He's
then I've got a
obviously
problem.
not paying attention. Okay. Righty-ho. When you wake in the morning, dawn breaks, and you set out.
So it's the 18th.
And 1 second while I just check the diary. This is... You travel to Matanochi the first day, and then you've travelled to...
Ubanasai in the castle on the 17th.
Hayo the second day.
18th, according to me.
So that was the 17th. So this is now the 18th.
Yeah.
Let me just check something. Righty-ho. You are travelling past the Temple of the Immaterial when you notice some sort of confusion inside.
Inside the temple?
Well, there seems to be a bit of a ruckus.
A ruckus? Right, I suppose we have to investigate.
Do you?
Surely. What do
what does the leader of the party say?
what do the boys think?
Well, I'm not getting involved.
But it's a ruckus.
Buddhist believers want to beat each other up, that's fine with them.
Oh. But what if it's a fun ruckus and we miss out?
Okay, so you travel past a shrine, and then you take the turning off the road to head up to your next delivery point. Right, so you're actually going past the Spirit of Art Shrine to Itashima to drop off your next parcel. There is actually a road which travels up along the side of the shrine, across the bridge to Itashima. And you drop off your parcel there, and the merchant seems quite happy to receive it. And you have another parcel to deliver, almost due southeast. So when you ask directions, they tell you you can either go back up the Saikaido to that point and then take the side road down to the coast, or you can travel further down the Saikaido and then double back on yourselves. What do you wish to do?
Which is the shortest route?
Oh, yeah.
What's the most
Much of a
efficient?
muchness.
Yeah, on the Saikaido then, it makes no difference.
Okay, it's 6 and 1/2 as the other because you're travelling the same distance on the Saikaido either way, and then you're going onto country roads. Okay.
We'll stay on the second edit.
So
In that
safer.
case, you travel back down to the Saikaido, and you travel down towards the next village, which is actually called Ikagetsu. Ikkagetsu, and you're almost there when you meet a party of priests walking back towards you. A couple of them are carrying staves, and they see you, and one of them yells,
What are you yelling for?
"That's him!" Pointing at Kyūryū.
Oh no.
These Buddhist priests or Shinto priests?
Buddhist priests.
Okay, we'll stop. Well, I'll stop anyway.
Okay, you're just outside the village. The priests are walking back towards you. They're showing signs of movement. They're obviously been sweating, breathing hard, whatever. Even in the rain, they're covered in mud. They've been running. Why did you do it? How are you going to recompense us?
What can I do for you, gentlemen?
Is he yours? Is he one of your porters?
He's a colleague of mine. What is it he's supposed to have done?
Desecrated the temple. Threw sake all over the walls.
Excuse
Doesn't
me?
sound like him.
It's him,
Which
wasn't it?
temple-
Didn't you?
which
You
temple
saw
would
it.
that
You
be?
saw the Temple of the Immaterial.
Excuse me? No. We never stopped at the Temple of the Immaterial. You are mistaken, my friend.
You saw him, didn't you? He turns on. Yes, that's him.
I look at my friends and say, I think they're mistaken, my friends. We didn't stop at the Temple of the Immaterial.
Well, you can come back to the temple and we can sort it out there.
No, we've
I
sto-
recognise you. He recognises you. I'm sure the abbot recognises you.
I don't think these guys are going to just arrest me, are they? Boys, what did we think of that? How many of them is there?
There are what look like 2 Gakusho and 2 Sohai monks.
Nah, they're not arresting me for a crime that I've not done. If it was for the
They're
crime
accusing you of a crime, and
If it
2
was-
of them recognise
if
you.
it was for the crime that I did do, then maybe I would think about it. But no, we never went to that table. I've not been
They're
thrown
not arresting you. They want you to go back to the temple with them, just for the abbot to confirm whether or not it was you. They're sure it was you.
I'm confirming to them that it wasn't. I'm assuring them that it wasn't.
Yes, well, they are sure that it was because they both saw you.
Tough shit. We've got a job to do.
How
I'm sorry.
far away is the temple?
It's that is the temple there. So it's 1, 2, 3 Rai, which is not that far. You travel 14 Rai on, so it's about a fifth of the day's journey.
Aye.
The
So
the right direction am I going?
No,
Is
it's
it
the wrong direction. So it's 2/5 if we go there and back of a day.
Well, you could take that route to go down to the village on the coast there.
Are we going to entertain these jokers? We never went to their temple. We never threw anything around the place. We're not going to
They are
entertain this.
certain that they recognise.
Let us go back to the temple and sort this mess out.
Yeah, I'm just thinking we best clear it up now.
Clear it up. Okay, clear it up. Okay, but why are we entertaining it?
Why not?
Well, if
Well-
we don't sort it out now, these guys may go running to the local boot.
I mean, can't you vouch for me now that I've never been there?
Well, the two Sohai monks look as though they're going to be trying to make sure you accompany them back to the temple.
They're going to take
Either
you
vertical or
to the
horizontal.
Well, I might have a thing or two to say about that.
It's a couple of hours out of our day.
Yeah,
We should go
let's,
back.
let's sort it out. The last thing we want is get priests to escalate it up to the boot, and then we don't want to come to their attention if we can avoid it.
Alright, but I expect you two boys to explain that
Well,
you're
we'll tell them
that you're the people that witnessed the fact that I never went there.
Yeah, you were with us all the time, and we never saw you do it.
We shall accompany you back to the temple, gentlemen.
Yes.
Good, says the Gakusho in charge. And sets off. The two Sohai monks and the other Gakusho wait until you move to make sure that you don't kind of slip off.
I'm eyeing every single one of them up and seeing what kind of weapons they're carrying and how hard their bodies are, how big their muscles are. These bastards.
The Sohai monks look like Budoka. The two Gakusho look like Gakusho. Okay. You accompany them back to the temple. And I believe we will call it a night at that.
Perfectly timed cliffhanger.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Nicely done, Dave. Nicely done.
Nicely done, Dave. Yeah. I'm getting strung up for something I never done here. It's fine because I got away with the thing that I did do, so it's cool. I don't mind.
You're not going to be strung up. I would doubt it anyway.
I fucking hope not. You boys better back me up.
You won't get strung up there. I don't know. They may make you clean the temple or something. I don't know.
No,
You have
I'll
to
not be
remember-
cleaning any temple. I did not do. I've not even been to that place. I will.
The thing to remember is that they are Buddhists, so they're likely to be quite peaceful unless you piss them off.
I will fight them before I clean their temple.
Anyway, thank you, Dave. Thank you, gents, for good. That was
Yeah.
good.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Tim. Thanks,
Okay.
Nick.
If you do find anybody else who wants to play, please let me know.
Can you try and get in touch with
I will
Richard?
do.
See if he
I will
actually
get in touch with Richard, and I will get in touch with
Well, the
Chijo's
doc
character.
said, the
Doc.
doc said he can't make it.
You can't make it this week, he said. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, well, Ichijo's still with you. I'll try and get in touch with Richard, but we do need to see if we can find somebody else to flesh out the party.
Also, if we don't get Richard back, everybody here's in my Discord. We can use my Discord for the better sound quality, for the better.
It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah. And
Let's see who we can
Let's see
find.
how it all goes.
I'll look.
Any of your watchers or interested?
Exactly, yeah. So we'll leave this in for the video. If anybody's interested in playing this, we think we've lost a player, and if you think you might like this group in this game in this campaign, join the Discord. You'll find a link somewhere on my YouTube channel. And
Okay.
Get in touch.
Evening all. We will leave it there. Entering the precincts of the polluted temple.
I don't like the sounds of that. That's not right.